Do you want Chester Cheetah smut, Zach?
Kinda, seeing
Sure.
as he's like, I guess
Send
canonically.
that furry shit. How the cheese cheetah saved Christmas.
Wait, were they thinking Bobby Hill?
Yeah.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Okay, I'll move this one over here so I can still see chat. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse, except for the friend of the son of a friend of perhaps the quintessential iconic mouse. A young dogman in glasses looked under the tree to see what would be there, for what could there be but his cheddar whizzy, his favorite food and treat. That's the only thing he wished for there to be. This is not rhyming that well. It's doing the same word on the last line, or the second and fourth line. It's kind of odd. It was with misfortune that nothing looked like a can. There would be no cheddar whizzy for the saddened dogman. His blue eyes were sparkling with depression-fueled tears. But for one reason alone, we cannot pity this dogman. Santa Claus had fallen ill that year, and at the North Pole they had quite the jeer. If Santa is sick, then who could be of help? If Christmas was ruined, and for that, they did quite the jeer. This is really weird. Except for the fact that a cool orange cat who smelled
They tried.
Yeah, who smelled of baked cheese goods had heard of all that. A fat cat, he was cool, with sunglasses divine. He couldn't stand dealing with the elves crying like that. The timing is off. It's fucking me up. Here, you get to do some. There's lines.
Yeah, but like, it's a poem. You just read it.
No, you read the lines.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Santa.
He said with a cool orange grin, his bright white teeth showing no amount of sin.
Let me give the kids some cheer this year for Christmas to be not here. But what the fuck?
Yeah, see?
I almost started racial slurring because of that.
Are you alright, Lori?
Not here this year is a sin. What the?
I know.
That's...
So we put on the red coat without the elf's consent, but he was too sick, of course. He was too sick, so of course he looked content. It looked better on Chester, of course, over that fat-ass red elf who was sick yet content. No. Hang on, what the fuck?
I like this.
And with that, Chester Cheetah was gone, riding Santa's sled with those reindeers at dawn. Is this you're laughing so hard, or are you, like, dying and need a hospital? Maybe it was too late for him, but hopefully he could be hidden in the curtain of dawn. And the first house he hit was stirring, with a saddened dogman whose body was curling. And the fact that he didn't have any cheddar whizzy to calm him, and his screams were blood-curling. Kool-Aid Man fanfiction? Mr. Clean fanfiction? That's not surprising. Ronald McDonald fanfiction.
Dude, my favorite is when Alien's channel was still Alien, before she rebranded because of the fucking virtual YouTuber craze. My favorite video is the one where she animates Ronald McDonald reenacting the love plug. Do you remember what the love plug is?
Vaguely. I'm more reading ahead on this, and I'm disturbed.
Okay.
Is you next, but just there's gonna be quite a bit of
what
chatting.
What do you need?
It starts with the ho ho ho, but I guess whatever.
Ho ho ho,
said the cheetah with pride as he made the dogman's chimney a slide. And as he
Ew.
saw that sad dogman crying, Chester the cheetah couldn't let that sobbing slide. He moved over to him and asked him...
This person doesn't know how rhyming works.
They don't! It hurts me!
Like, they rhyme the first two lines of a verse, and then they'll do...
the same word, and it's, like, off-kilter timing-wise, too.
And then, so, like, they'll establish a new thing to rhyme with the third line, and then the fourth line just ignores that.
Yeah, it's fucking me up. Alright. He moved over to him and asked him...
what's wrong? Your eyes are so red. Have you been hitting the ball?
And he said...
I don't have my cheddar whizzy, and of course I don't. I prefer joints to a bong. Like,
yeah. Thankfully, Chester had just what the male needs. He couldn't just tell him Cheddar Whizzy was his seed. But at the same time, this male was looking real sad. But were feelings just as important as the man's mouth full of his seed? So first, Chester took off the robe and pointed that Cheeto puff of his towards his lobe. Hopefully this man is quite good with his mouth, said Chester Cheetah hoped as he pointed it between his lobes. Like, what the fuck?
There's so many mean things I could say.
And the thing is, like, if it wasn't for that, this would be amazing. Like, this is fucking hilarious. I love it except for that.
You should take it and like...
fix it?
Yeah.
Like, for example, he could have rhymed something there with chode and didn't, and I'm sad. I'm very sorry. Just me think it's going back on track. Anyway, it's you.
Hey, Mac, I'll tell you right here, if you love your Cheddar Whizzy like a beer, then this right here is the ultimate tap of an endless supply of what you call beer. What the
We have every line. And like that immediately, he gave him the suck. He wanted Cheddar Whizzy and was down on his luck. And maybe if this cool cat wasn't lying, he could have some Cheddar Whizzy, which would be hella good luck. And not to brag or make a fuss, but Chester's stamina was that of a wuss. And even if he was fucking a great mouth puss, it still didn't make him any less of a wuss. Chester spewed his Cheddar Whizzy into this big fan of Cheddar Whizzy, and he was in love with Chester Cheetah, but more importantly, his seed, Cheddar Whizzy. What the fuck? And with that, he was happy and went back to sleep, and Chester put boxes of Cheddar Whizzy under the tree. So he just jizzed into boxes? After he climbed out of the chimney, it was time to put cocaine underneath the Hulk's tree. And that's it. That is how it ends. Fuck.
Wait. Before you click away, I want to look at these comments. Read that.
You can't rhyme stuff with the same word, you dumb fuck. 10 out of 10 would beat my meat to it again. Izuku had spent the majority of his childhood lusting after a quirk, but they're not always what they're cracked up to be. But when a strange man comes to tear up his beach, he'll learn a hard lesson. Notes, as a great man once said, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am. John Cena, 1969. Wind in his hair, sun on his back, befitting of the #1 surfer. When he was little, Izuku wanted to be a surfer, but Bakubro and his friends kept harshing his mellow and giving him a bucket of shit like every day. Not having a quirk certainly didn't help, but in the end, with the help of his mentor, he had become the #1 surfer. So Izuku has moved to the beach to chill with the bros and smoke some pot, dude.
Is this just like... Is this like some elaborate joke about him being Green Naruto?
His freckles had spread from his face all the way down to his toned back, and he had gotten himself a sweet-ass tan because fuck the police and fuck sunscreen. He was not just the #1 surfer, but the #1 hottest piece of ass as well, and was content to walk around in just his swim trunks, flip-flops, and the stereotypical shitty shark tooth necklace.
Hang on. Rocker, do you know what the difference between a video game character and a fucking brand mascot is?
But this necklace was muy especial, porque it had been given to him by his surfer mentor, Senor Alright, dude.
Fucking what?
There's a lot going on there, and I can't process any of
Where's
it.
Carlos?
Izuku got more pussy than a veterinarian smoking catnip, or he would have if this wasn't fanfiction, where everyone is gay.
No.
Gay.
Yeah.
Izuku was tearing it up on the waves per ush when my edgy self-insert OC, Midnight Blast, Lord of all depression, and edgy goth, walked up on the beach in her black combat boots and black fishnet leggings, which were hidden by her black and red velvet Victorian fashion punk rocker steampunk style dress. Fuck! She definitely didn't look out of place at all at the fucking beach. Zuku, she called, I brought you a chillin'-ass popsicle. Zuku was Izuku's chill-ass surfer name. He gave her a thumbs up while backflipping and doing a triple Lutz, and then surfed over the edge of the beach and did a triple kickflip off his surferboard, landing in a perfect tree pose. That's just how in touch with his inner chill he was.
Do you know how hard it is to kickflip something that doesn't have fucking wheels?
No. Cool, right? Well, I guess chill would be more accurate.
Do you know how impossible it would be to kickflip something off of wet sand?
Thanks, bruh, Zuku said, grabbing the pop and deep-throating it, like a boss. Did he have experience? Only the public restroom knows.
He sounds like my brother. Every time he fucking peels a banana, he tries to swallow it in one go. And then he regrets it.
Of course. Thanks, Zuku said. How did you know I loved Tom Brady flavor? Bitch's intuition, Midnight Blast, Lord of All Depression replied. I'm not drunk enough for this.
Get drunk.
I'm thinking about it.
Oh, go get alcohol.
The wicked-ass DJ up on the boardwalk, named Kirishima, but everyone just called him Period Hair, stopped blasting tunes for a hot sec and got everybody's attention. Period Blood has an effeminate southern accent, apparently.
What?
Just...
Pimps and hoes. Just letting y'all bitches know. Oh, effeminate southern accent? Oh, fuck. Wait, is period? What?
The character is Kirishima, but they're all just calling him Period Hair. So.
Whatever, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
You know, the Cali slang, when it's piled up on itself to this extent, would make Californians fucking...
Carlos would be dying if he was here. Why is he not?
Like, the thing is, he does all of these things, but never all at once. And it's really subtle. He doesn't, like, you could actually go a whole day and not notice any of these habits he has in his speech. No, I'm talking like actual skateboarders and surfers and what they're like some of the chillest people on the planet. Like,
we're mocking Californians on stream
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Where was I? We finna have a surfing contest up in this here bitch. Oh, fuck it. We ask contenders to join us next to lifeguard post 1A to tear up some waves like I tore up Baku Bro's ass last night.
A loud, shut the fuck up, shitty hair sounded from somewhere in the crowd, and Kirishima laughed his ass off while Izuku backflipped over to him. Kirishima put Crawling in My Skin back on blast as Zuku began to talk to him. Sup, PB? How's the contest looking, dude? Ya boy Zuku asked. We got some good contenders this time?
I can't.
Right here.
I hate this. Looks like it. Check it, dude.
Crimson Tide replied, and look he did. There were several new peeps out there. But as Zuku gazed upon a scene of fine bods, he caught a glimpse of one that stood out in particular. Zuku made his way over to the surf competition, where Senor Allright Dude was declaring the rules for the surfing competition. Just for funsies, of course. How long is this? Okay, not much longer. You could be All Might.
Man, no. Where's Carlos?
I messaged him, but... the rules of this contest are simple. You can do whatever you want on the water, but only for the allotted 4.420 pesos, minutes. Bros before hoes. Bear this in mind while tearing it up like Shark Week did to Bakuho last night. Aloud, for the last time, I'm not a skank-ass hoe sounded from the crowd. And remember, the most important rule, use protection, kids. I have not seen 22 Jump Street. I have not seen 21 Jump Street. With that, Senor Allright pulled an air horn out of somewhere and blasted that shit to the tune of Dandrude Sandstorm. With that, they spelled that wrong. With that, all the sea skanks were off, front paddling their boards to high hell, or high tide, actually. Contender 1, better known as ya boy Corey from the house, started doing his wicked cool drum set while cruising to tide. Contender 2, Juan Cena, was eating a burrito from his sombrero while surfing backwards. Meanwhile, Contender C, Billy La Bufanda, was lifting his surfboard and walking on the water like the god he is. But it was the final contender that caught Zuku's attention. Contender last wasn't doing much to stand out from the rest, simply squaring on his surfboard like he was taking a huge shit, which made sense because he had a constipated expression on his face. His skin was a stripper's glow-in-the-dark tampon green, and he had beautiful, deep, dark eyes. Fuck, I was trying not to laugh at that. Glow-in-the-dark tampon green. Fucking hell. His nose was broad like his shoulders, and without his shirt, his sexy chest hair was visible, silver like my manatee-themed dildo. He had a focused expression on his face, determined, and his lips, thin yet kissable, were pulled into a tight line in concentration. I like the fact that they referred to, like, my manatee-themed dildo. This is the author's.
Duh.
He had thick, luscious eyebrows, furrowed, and Zuku couldn't take his eyes away from the salty streaks of sweat on his forehead that glistened on his forehead like the glittery makeup of a Swedish prostitute. I'm losing my shit here. His thick, green fingers were curled into tight balls. Those aren't the only balls I wouldn't mind playing with, if you know what I mean, Zuku thought to himself. Just then, Zuku's eyes caught sight of his smooth, round stomach, and his eyes wandered down past his surfer bulge to his well-toned calves and not manicured and painted nails, but Zuku planned on taking care of that. Oh yeah, the Cheetos Puffs mascot was also doing a backflip in a stripper thong, but Zuku was too busy staring at the mysterious sweet ass to notice, and said booty was clad in tight SpongeBob-themed swim shorts. This is a fucking fever dream. Anyway, the mystery bro got last place, but just as he was taking the walk of pussy off the beach, Zuku caught up to him. Wait, he screeched like a Dippin' Dot sail penguin with erectile dysfunction. This is art, and I hate it. The ogre turned around to look at him, and that's when Zuku noticed his sexy ass ears. Man, I'd like to stick those in my mouth, Zuku thought. The way it smelled.
I feel like you relate to that.
Which part? I'm sorry?
The ears part.
I don't have a thing for ears.
You keep biting on mine.
Because you make funny noises. But instead he asked, "What's your name, dude?" The salty broccoli turned around and eyed Zuku. I'm not doing a Scottish accent.
Scottish? Why is
It's Shrek!
Oh. Why? Why is Shrek?
It's literally like 3 lines. Don't worry about it. The face you're making.
Why did they have to spell it like that?
This is the only line that Shrek speaks.
What's it to you?
The sexy, mysterious dude replied in his Scottish accent. Zuku trailed off, was wondering if you had any Playboys I could borrow. You seem like the kind of stud with all of those. The stranger simply rolled his eyes and began walking away, but stopped short for a moment, seemingly considering something. Oh, okay, he does speak again. You're just struggling. I need to make you read one.
None of that is natural response. You know what the natural response to a stranger walking up to you and asking for porno mags is?
Mm-hmm.
Dead silence. Or laughter. Shrek.
He called back to Zuku over one of his strong shoulders.
Don't wear it out.
As Zuku...
Just like, why was all of this to lead up for this?
As Zuku watched Shrek walk off into the sunset, he couldn't help but think, shit, I think I left my dildo plugged in at home. Then Zuko realized that was impossible because he lived under the dock where there was no electricity. Sent from my iPhone.
I like that.
I didn't see that at first. Well, this one's labeled tagged, I want to fucking die, so here we go.
Have fun.
Mr. Mime, and Ash's mom.
No, read the title.
Mr. Mime becomes my new daddy, trademarked. Summary. This is probably the most fucked up shit I've written in a long time. Thank you for watching me self-destruct. Notes. Obviously, I don't own any of the characters. Don't sue my ass. Delia Ketchum, Mr. Ketchum, or Mrs. Ketchum, Mama-san, Ash's mom, and a total MILF. I feel like I need to leave now. No, you are suffering with us.
Who's leaving?
Diana. No.
Don't be a bitch.
I like how there's like a ton of trademarks here, and it's not on the correct items. And I'm going to read every trademark because why the fuck not? I just want to start off by saying that I have no fucking clue why the creators of the English version of Pokemon named her Delia Ketchum. It sounds like a gross condiment and that you'd think about putting on your hot dog at your uptight aunt's barbecue. But then you'd think, nah, maybe I shouldn't. And after hours of sitting around listening to one of your uncles talk about how he's afraid of Asian people and has been ever since he moved to Florida, you say, fuck it, I'm hammered off of cheap wine and bad conversation, let's do this. You'd instantly regret it, though. Those 5 hours you spend on the toilet afterwards are no joke. But yeah, Delia Ketchum, a total MILF, trademark. I joined and still confused. Good. So am I. Now, let's regale you with this wondrous story of how Ash Ketchum and Delia Ketchum got a new daddy. Trademark. Oh my gosh. Ash, it's time for dinner. Dinner? Oh boy! Ash, who hadn't eaten proper food in forever, probably because his mom let him leave the house 10 years old to travel a fake universe, gotta catch 'em all, ran down the stairs and tripped over Pikachu. Pikachu! Pikachu's startled sneeze electrocuted Ash. Never forget the first episode when that was all Pikachu did. He's the real villain of that episode. But maybe also Professor Oak, because I'm pretty sure he's got some shifty shit going on with Ash.
No, I'm waiting for the remake.
Well, okay. I don't trust it. And speaking of shifty shit, why was Professor Oak video chatting Ash, a kid he's not related to and probably doesn't even know that well, when he could be video chatting his grandchild? Like, yes, Gary is a piece of shit who has an oddly big fan club, but also, he could have used some guidance. And Professor Oak is like, well, he's a lost cause. Time to creep on a 10-year-old I have no relation to.
It's not that. It's not that Professor Oak doesn't want to talk to Gary. It's that Gary's smart enough to stay away.
I'm reading this. This is not my words. I don't care about Pokemon. I don't know any of this. I'm just reading. But for now, Professor Oak must be put out of our minds. He's fucked up, but we're here for something even more fucked up. Bestiality. Are Pokemon considered animals? Maybe? What about the vaguely humanoid ones? For the purpose of this fanfic, they're beasts.
That's dark.
Beasts! You scream into the void. The void does not scream back. It's done with people screaming into its vast hole. Yes, even the vaguely humanoid Pokemon are beasts. Changed my mind. And Delia Ketchum is with the biggest beast of them all. Ash, stop fooling around with your Pokemon and set the table. Okay, Mom. Ash grabbed the cutlery and started setting the table for 2. No, Ash, we're going to need 3 spots. Really? For a second, Ash felt his heart swell. Is Dad coming back? No, Ash, but someone special is joining us for dinner. Delia smiled sweetly to herself. I wish you could have seen sex. Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to draw a couple of little reaction photos because there's a lot of similar faces I'm seeing from him with some of these. Go more ada with it. I am laughing too hard to go proper ada, but I will try. Who? Is it someone I know? Well, let's just say that he's been hanging around for a while now, but I'm excited for you to finally get to know him. Huh, that's weird. My mom doesn't have that many friends, unless you count Professor Oak, but I already know him, Ash thought. Black Ops 2, says Rocker.
God. It's not gonna run.
Just as Ash was setting the last place at the table,
DLC fucks with it.
There was a knock at the door. Any opinions on Persona 5 music? It's alright. I don't know it that well, though. Ash, would you? Yeah, I got it, Mom. Why? Is there a picture there? Ugh. Rushing over to the door, Ash pulled it open to reveal a Mr. Mime. And not just any Mr. Mime either, but the one that was constantly hanging out with his mom. What are you doing here? My mom is expecting someone for dinner, and she didn't say she wanted this to be dinner theater, Ash said, eyeing the Mr. Mime up and down. The Mr. Mime shrugged its thick deltoids at Ash and extended the flowers it was holding in his hand. Even under the green and yellow shirt the Mr. Mime was wearing, Ash could tell that it was ripped. Probably, and this thought would only cross his mind later, from going down on some grade A pussy. Is that our guest? Asked Ash's mom called. Ash's mom's voice called from the kitchen. No, Mom, it's just that Mr. Mime again. A pause. Ash, that's our guest. Let him in. You can't be serious. But it was already too late. The Mr. Mime pushed past Ash into the house, forever changing Ash's world. I'm at a loss for words. This is amazing! I'm out of tea.
I don't know.
Aw, how sweet. You brought me flowers. Delia Ketchum leaned down to plant a kiss on the Mr. Mime's face. Why? It's key mashing for Mr. Mime's responses. Key mashing, Mr. Mime said in response. I'm playing by game rules here, pals. The key mash is his battle cry, and the only effective way to communicate the sheer emotion that this character is feeling. Well, why don't we get down to dinner? I made everything lactose-free because I know you're lactose intolerant. Delia punctuated this by booping the Mr. Mime cutely on the nose. Wow, Mr. Mime and my mom sure are close, Ash thought suspiciously as he helped his mom bring food to the table. He didn't fail to notice that Mr. Mime pulled his mom's chair out for her. Adventure time? Oh, fuck. Wait, stop. So remind me again how you two know each other? Ash asked his mom. Oh, she wants you to play Adventure Time.
I haven't ever played it. I guess I could.
Don't you remember, Ash? You were there. This Mr. Mime and I teamed up to help stop Team Rocket from stealing the Pokemon at Stella's Circus. God, I hate that I actually looked up Pokemon lore in order to make this fanfiction legit. Okay, but what's he doing here? That was a long time ago. Well, Ash, when a woman loves a Mr. Mime... Wait, what? Ah, that's loud. More keyboard mashing. Mr. Mime screamed. Don't interrupt your mother.
I hope not. I don't think I'm emotionally prepared for that.
Thank you, honey. Delia put her hand on Mr. Mime's. Oh, that's right. When a woman loves a Mr. Mime, Ash, especially when that Mr. Mime is as good in the sack as this one, you chain that Mr. Mime down and never let it go, not even to its own mother's funeral. You hear me? More keyboard mashing, Mr. Mime said, giving Delia bedroom eyes. Honey, not in front of Ash. Then Mr. Mime made some lewd gesture involving a hole it had made in one of the bread rolls. Delia swatted at him playfully, saying, "Ooh, you're bad." With every second, Ash could feel himself becoming more and more confused. Me too, Ash, me too. What do you mean by good in the sack? Is that a term for when you go Pokemon hunting, but don't have enough Pokemon balls, so you try using a sack instead? The Mr. Mime jumped on the table and started groggily hip thrusting and smacking its own ass. More keyboard mashing. Honey, maybe it would make sense if I showed you a photo album.
Pull up the soundbite for Mr. Mime on YouTube so you can...
Just play it.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Okay, cool. Honey, maybe it would make sense if I showed you a photo album. I'm not sure how that would help me in understanding hunting Pokemon with a sack, but sure. Are there any photos of Dad in there? Oh, honey. Love is like 1,000 mimes butt-fucking you into oblivion. You are my one and always, Heart Delia, the inside of the photo album read. Below are the photos that met Ash's eyes. Oh my gosh. There are actual pictures here. One of them's kind of porny. Mom, why are none of these photos of you and Dad? Because, Ash, well, they're of me and your new daddy. But these are all just photos of... It's okay. You can say it. But he's a Pokemon! No, Ash. He's Daddy. Trademarked. I'm poking... Lori, yeah, go ahead and put these in your Discord chat so that they can see these later. It ends with the surprise Pikachu face! And that is it. That is how it ends. I am... Oh, fucking hell. Toucan Sam was one day flying around trying to find some fly booty because his honey recently dumped him. He was so sad, so he wanted some random sex to make him feel better. It was then that he saw her hair all pulled back in a casual matronly bun, a yellow cap on her head, a red and yellow apron reading her name. Yes, it was Mrs. Butterworth. I hate this. Angel says, why not try Fable? Send you multiple or one. If you want to send a couple, that way if I see one and I'm just not having it, then I can just skip and go to another one. So, sure, whatever. I must have the sex with her, said Toucan Sam to himself. So he fell 2 stories down and landed on his face in front of her. She jumped back, slightly appalled. Kino in Blops 1, says Rocker. Gracious, are you okay? She was concerned, looking down at the Birdman by her feet, who may have been passed out or dead. Good chance he's dead. I'ma loot the body. Mama needs a new apron. She started patting down his wings to find a wallet when she felt a pulse. Shit, she thought. So she picked him up and dragged him inside her house to nurse him back to health. By the time Toucan Sam opened his eyes, it was well past breakfast time. What the... Why is that... Okay. What the blimey happened? Oh good, you are awake, dear. I was wondering if you were going to survive. Took a nasty spill, you did. Toucan Sam looked at the sexy babe before him with his beak dropped open. Humana, 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 please have sex with me. I am trying so hard to do these dramatically. I can't.
You're doing great, honey.
You're not helping at all.
Yeah, I am.
You could play rhyme.
I don't want to.
Play Shantae. I guess that might be a bit distracting, though, too. Oh my! She gasped at how forward he was. This is so sudden. I don't know how I should respond to this. I love you. I dropped out of the sky just so I could bone you. It was love at first sight. Please, please say yes. Toucan Sam was on his bird knees, begging for her approval. Well, okie dokie. Fuck, yeehaw, diddly dang, he cried and fist-pumped the air in triumph. I want to make it clear, though. She nervously nervous. I prefer to be the top. "'Kay, cool, put it in me, mamacita." "Oh, okay." She spit maple syrup on her finger and then put it in his toucan bumhole. Oh, Christ! The shock was something entirely different from what he had expected, but it wasn't something bad. As soon as she got him good and fingered, she asked him if he was ready. Yeah, he nodded viciously, and a blush spread in anime lines across his beak. And so it happened. She grabbed his legs and spread them open, sticking her head inside his ass. What am I reading? Once her entire head was in his butt, he had come twice. Nah, yes, Mrs. Butterworth. Ah, he screeched like a pterodactyl. She kept inserting herself, and soon her shoulders were up his butt. She was stuck, but it was wonderful. I like how it's slowly getting worse and worse spelling, so it's like he's typing all this as he's getting, like, just her crawling up his butt. It was wonderful!
Anal vor.
Anal vor?
This will probably be distracting too, so just turn the volume down if you need to.
Okay. Like the feeling of being complete, but it wasn't enough. He needed more. He wanted all of her, and she had yet to release as well. Oh, Mrs. Butterworth, come inside. I want to feel your sweet liquid amber nectar filling me completely. Ah, Mrs. Butterworth. And so the yellow cap opened and syrup began pouring out. It was sweet and buttery and warm, and it was filling Toucan Sam completely. Ugh, he cried in ecstasy. That is the worst spelling of ecstasy I've ever read in my life. Xtasee. As he was filled with the syrupy goodness. It kept going, though. There was so much syrup. It was filling him completely. It filled him to the point where he was drowning in syrup. His internal organs were dissolved into the sugary pancake topping that came from a tree. Syrup poured through his body until Mrs. Butterworth was just an empty bottle. By then, it was too late for the both of them. They were dead. The cops found the scene 2 days later. An empty syrup bottle halfway plunged into a cum and syrup-covered toucan. They took off their hats in a show of respect for the dead. A tragically romantic scene. The good truly do die young. Diana's having a time. Would this technically be Fuda, or... I don't think so. That was gross. I'm gonna puke. This person also writes a lot of Harry Potter and supernatural fan fiction. Optimus Prime goes crazy and vores his family because Elsa vaccinated his kids. Additional tags, vor and lots of vor. Also, why is the fandom's Transformers, Frozen, State Farm, Sonic Boom, Dragon Ball, Batman, Undertale, and SpongeBob? Optimus Prime walked into the Krusty Krab. Honey, I'm home, he yelled. Welcome home, sweetie, Elsa cheerfully replied. How are the kids? Optimus inquired. Vaccinated, Elsa said cheerfully. You what? Optimus exclaimed. Optimus was angry. He ripped his faceplate off his face, revealing his serrated duckbill. Vor time, you smelly Republican, Optimus screamed as he started inhaling deeply. His mouth was like a black hole that almost sucked Elsa in. Elsa used the plunger she had in her pocket to stick to the wall, but the plunger's grip began to fail. Elsa was sucked into Optimus Prime's beak of doom. Suddenly, Batman and Sonic showed up. Hey, Dad, said Sonic unsuspectingly. Where's Mom? Optimus Prime's eyes started to glow pink with hatred and infection. You aren't my boys, Optimus screamed, and he began to devour his children. Father, why? Sonic exclaimed before he was bored. Batman managed to escape his father's wrath, but it was too late for him. Optimus sat and cried. My family has betrayed me. I have no one, sobbed Optimus. Hey there, a voice called. Suddenly Optimus was greeted by two strangers, a short skeleton named Sans Undertale, and a tall, muscular, physically imposing man named Jake from State Farm. Nobody animate this, please. Heard you like vor, Sans spoke. We happen to be experts at it, added Jake from State Farm. Optimus Prime sheds a single tear and accepts his fate. Sans and Jake stood at opposite sides of Optimus. They started inhaling and sucking. The force of the vortex was so powerful that it tore Optimus Prime in half vertically. This ended up releasing Elsa, Batman, and Sonic. Our work here is done, Sans Undertale spoke. Sans and Jake then flew up into their home in the sun. Elsa eventually got married Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. They lived happily ever after until they all died. I'm not going to read this whole one, but I'm going to read this singular line of Ronald McDonald's typical day. Going outside, greeting his ever-present fans. Hi, fans. His fans were rabid fanatics. I'm your number one fan, Ronald. I want to have your baby. Kiss me. I'm a virgin. I want to suck every part of your body. And then later, Ronald says goodbye to his fanatical fans without getting roofied. Why is it specifically that? Hi, I hate this, but I still made it, so yeah. Hot, heated sex involved. Don't masturbate to this, guys, otherwise you'll be considered gay and you have a fetish. Notes: I hate the internet.
That sounds like an internal struggle.
And it opens with the line, Tony, pound into me with your frosted tiger dick, Chester the Cheetah yelled. He was currently having sex, and it's like all caps, italicized, and underlined, with his boyfriend, Tony the Tiger. No, it's not bold. Good night, Angel. They've been dating for 5 months now, and today was their first time having sex again. Italicized, caps, and underlined, together. I'll frost you up, sweetums. Tony the Tiger let out a loud, sexy tiger growl. Damn, you're so spicy, Tony yelled. Ah, Daddy, oh, whoa, Chester moaned. They continued having sex until Chester let out the Cheetos dust and Tony's frosted dick cracked. The end. XOXO. Notes: what the fuck, I gave up halfway. What are the comments on this? I've never been more aroused in my life. Thank you. And a true masterpiece. Thank you.